Welcome to Speak English Podcast with your host, Georgiana, the podcast that will help you to speak English fluently with no grammar and no textbooks.
Today, we look at some English words that are very difficult to pronounce. And with a mini story, you will practice your English fluency by answering many questions. Hi everybody, I am Georgiana, your English teacher and founder of SpeakEnglishPodcast.com. My mission is to help you speak English fluently. Before getting started, visit my website speakenglishpodcast.com/podcast to get the transcript for free. Okay, let's start. Number 1. Rural. Rural can be challenging to pronounce, even for some native speakers, especially when repeated or placed next to a word with similar R sounds. Let's pronounce it several times. Listen and repeat. Rural. 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 Okay, now let's hear some examples. I would prefer to leave the city for a rural home. She has a romantic view of rural society. Number 2. Phenomenon. This singular form of phenomena means an amazing event, pronounced as phenomenon. So, let's practice the word phenomenon a little bit. Listen and repeat. Phenomenon. 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 Examples. Gravity is a natural phenomenon. This phenomenon is unique in nature. Number 3. Sixth. Adding a th after x can be tricky for many English students. Let's pronounce it several times. Sixth. 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 Examples. The dictionary is now in its 6th edition. She lives on the 6th floor. Number 4. Specific. This word is quite easy to pronounce, but it may be difficult for those who do not understand that S and C can have the same sound, although different, within the same word. Let's practice it. Specific. 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 Examples. My boss gave me very specific instructions on dealing with the client. If you want to be successful, you need to be more specific about what you want to do. Number 5. Temperature. For some students, temperature is difficult to say quickly, as the T takes on a ch sound. Let's pronounce this word several times before using it in a sentence. Listen and repeat after me. Temperature. 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 Examples. Let me check your temperature. The temperature ranges from 0 to 20 degrees. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you had a good time practicing these complex words. If you want to know how to speak English using the proper techniques, visit speakenglishpodcast.com and subscribe to my mailing list. I will send you my 5-day video course so you can learn how to speak English fluently once and for all. And it's completely free. Okay, now it's time for you to practice your speech with a mini story. What's a mini story? A mini story is very simple. I give you information using phrases, and then I ask you questions. After each question, there will be some seconds of silence. It's your turn to answer the question. Just try to give an easy and a short answer, not a complex one. After your answer, I'll give you the correct answer. And just like that, I'll tell you a story with questions and answers. Are you ready? Andy had trouble pronouncing specific words. Was Andy talented at pronouncing words? No. He wasn't talented. He had trouble pronouncing specific words. Was it difficult for Andy to pronounce the word temperature? Yes. It was difficult for him to pronounce the word temperature. Did he also have trouble pronouncing the word rural? Yes. He also had trouble pronouncing the word rural. It was really hard for Andy to say rural. Did Andy have trouble pronouncing specific words? Yes. Specifically, Andy had trouble pronouncing words like temperature, rural, phenomenon, sixth, and specific. A doctor advised Andy to read aloud with a mouth full of marbles. Did a doctor advise Andy to read slowly? No. He didn't advise him that. He advised Andy to read aloud with a mouth full of marbles. Marbles are small, round glass toys. What did the doctor advise Andy? To read aloud with a mouth full of marbles. What did Andy's mouth have to be like? Full of marbles. After months of practice, Andy didn't see any improvement. Did Andy see any improvement? No, he didn't see any improvement. Who didn't see any improvement? The doctor? No, not the doctor. Andy. Andy didn't see any improvement. Desperately, Andy tried something obvious, reading aloud more slowly. Did he try something strange or obvious? Something obvious. Andy tried something obvious. Did Andy try playing with marbles? No, he didn't try that. He tried reading aloud more slowly. What did he try? He tried to read aloud more slowly. Little by little, Andy found it easier to pronounce those tricky words. Was the improvement fast? No, it wasn't fast. It was little by little. Did he find it harder to pronounce those words? Easier. He found it easier, not harder. Who found it easier? Andy. He found it easier. Finally, Andy could pronounce all words correctly and threw away all those marbles. Was Andy still having problems pronouncing specific words? No, he didn't have any problems. He could pronounce all words correctly. What did Andy do with the marbles? Did he keep them? He didn't keep them. He threw them away. He threw away all the marbles. Perfect! It's the end of this mini story. As you can see, through questions and answers, you can practice and improve your speech just like in a real conversation. It is one of the techniques that I use in my premium courses. I recommend you to take a look at speakenglishpodcast.com/courses. Okay, we have reached the end of this episode. Remember to listen to it several times. It will help you with your English. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now at speakenglishpodcast.com.